Welcome into California, Pennsylvania, the site of the PSAC quarterfinal matchup between the California Vulcans and the Slippery Rock Rock. Welcome into the broadcast. I am Danny Beck, and joined alongside me today is the sharp-looking Dylan Goday. And Dylan, we have a good matchup today against PSAC foes, Slippery Rock and California.
Yeah, big-time game. So we had to dress like it was a big-time game. Big matchup here in the quarterfinals of the PSAC tournament against two very familiar teams, Slippery Rock and California.
Without a doubt, and the last time California played just Saturday, not too long ago, and they took on Clarion on Senior Day, Shaw Day, if you will, and California got the victory 73-50.
And California was able to win 73-50 in that game, coming in with a lot of momentum. That was a Senior Day victory there with Shatara Parsons having a fantastic outing there with 30 points in that matchup. So for Shatara, she provided momentum for this team. Let's see if that carries into the matchup here tonight.
And Parsons has 30 points in each of her last two games, so looking for her to have a big game here against Slippery Rock. Switching over to Slippery Rock, they played Gannon, another familiar PSAC foe, and they took the loss 60-50, and the Rock were outscored in the second half 34-20 after leading at halftime 30-28.
So a bit of a different story there for Slippery Rock. California coming in with momentum. Slippery Rock doesn't have the momentum. They're coming off a frustrating loss where they let Gannon come back and get that victory. So two different teams. Let's see how that plays out tonight. Does Slippery Rock come in with a bit of a chip on their shoulder after falling in that game on Saturday?
And the last time California and Slippery Rock played, California got the victory. And this is nothing out of the normal because of the fact that California has beaten Slippery Rock every single time they played since the 2001 and 2002 season.
Yeah, definitely. That's for California. That's in your advantage. You know how to beat this team. Nobody on this team for California has lost to Slippery Rock. For Slippery Rock, on the other hand, these seniors, last chance to beat Cal U. And you know, Cal U, former national champion just a few years ago, has the target on their back. So Slippery Rock coming in this game, especially those seniors wanting to get that victory over California.
And Slippery Rock also losers of 8 of their last 10. 7 of those being PSAC matchups, PSAC West foes even. So really Slippery Rock has to turn it on now because that's who they're going to be seeing for the rest of this tournament.
Yeah, it is, and this is make or break for your season here in the quarterfinals. Win or go home. So for Slippery Rock, this is a must-win game for them, of course, because it's in the tournament play. If they have any hope of making it into possible regional final, they'll have to win the PSAC. So if they want to be the spoilers, they could if they're able to do just that.
And the matchup is already set. The winner of this game will be taking on Edinboro in Edinboro on Wednesday. So does California go up there and play Edinboro? They already have a loss against Edinboro, so you really have to bounce back if you're California.
Yeah, definitely. For California, you don't want to be looking ahead of this matchup with Slippery Rock because, again, you haven't lost to them since the 01-02 season. But you definitely have to be wanting to get some momentum heading in that Edinboro game.
Without a doubt, and thank you, Dylan. That's our pregame show. Stay tuned as tip-off is next.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Great moments are born from great opportunity. That's what you have here tonight. That's what you've earned here tonight. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Enough. Yeah, I'm over it. We shouldn't need commercials to tell you we're powerful.
No thanks.
Genders don't play sports. Athletes do.
Hello and welcome back into the Convocation Center here on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania. And Dylan, getting back into this game, California, it's a must-win for them. Obviously looking forward into the rest of this tournament, but break down the tail of the tape.
It's definitely a must-win for California if they're wanting to keep their hopes alive of making the regional tournament coming up. They lose this game, they'll be in serious jeopardy of making that regional tournament. But now looking at the tail of the tape, California has the advantage with 67 points per game, just barely there with Slippery Rock, but the points against California's defense has been tough all season long, and then steals as well with California having the advantage 13-6 against Slippery Rock.
And we're going to take a quick pause now for the national anthem. And welcome back into the Convocation Center. And Dylan, we were talking about the tail of the tape and really this California team in general. Most of their matchups that they played this season, we're kind of seeing lopsided stats. It seems like if Shatara Parsons isn't scoring, Mia Kushan, the injured Mia Kushan, is really scoring in bunches. So it'd be interesting to see how this California team comes together and play against Slippery Rock.
It definitely, and at home, California's undefeated so far this season. So can they continue that streak as well? Have struggled on the road, especially those trips up near Erie, especially against the top teams in the PSAC on the road. They've struggled for sure. But at home, played very well, and last time they played Slippery Rock at home, they came away with a decisive victory as well.
So now the starters are coming out. If you want to break down this Slippery Rock team.
Starters for Slippery Rock, got Krista Petropola, Sierra Fordham, Mallory Hindley, Brooke Hinderleiter, and Morgan Henderson. That's starting five for Slippery Rock. And we mentioned those seniors have yet to beat Cal U, and that's Petropola, Fordham, and Hindley. Three seniors on this team have never beat Cal U.
And that's going to be interesting to see if they can come into, as you mentioned, Dylan, the undefeated at home California Vulcans, and now breaking down the California Vulcans roster, Dylan.
Those starters for California: Abby Sporio, Shatara Parsons, Gianna Flood-Francis, Jameer Jeffries, and DJ Hahn. A couple names that you're not seeing in that starting lineup. You have Bianca Jasper, who is out due to this game due to injury, and Mia Kushan not playing tonight as well. So two key injuries for this California team. Does that play in Slippery Rock's hand? We'll find out, but definitely two key losses, especially that Mia Kushan not playing, averaging 14.5 points per game. That's a huge loss. And, of course, losing Bianca Jasper, really the floor general for this California team this season.
And also with Jameer Jeffries starting in the starting lineup, they have a little bit of height now for California. You can see how that plays out in the rebounding department, because that's where really California needs a lot of help.
And Jeffries, we didn't see her too much in previous games, but she's getting the start here tonight, and would not be surprised to see BB George, Emily Suckling, Gina Valcorsa quickly off the bench to just provide a spark, especially in the scoring-wise, because we've seen California at times this season struggle from the court. And if you're Slippery Rock there, Coach Bobby McGraw, wanting to get a win here today, he understands these seniors have never beat Cal U. And I think he's rattling home that this is your chance to play spoiler. Make California worry about making the regional tournament there coming up. Make them worry, take them out now, and who knows? They still have they have a chance to possibly make the tournament themselves if they can win out, have a miracle run. But that's what college basketball, that's what basketball is all about. Teams like Slippery Rock hitting their stride at the right moment.
And Slippery Rock's coming into this matchup 12-15, so just sneaking in as California wins the opening tip. Abby Sporio over to Flood Francis in the corner. And that height on the inside, that's where the matchup that we're going to be looking at all night. See how Jameer Jeffries kind of comes into a role of her own there in the lane. Abby Sporio putting up a shot. No good off the side of the rim. No rebound help there for California as Slippery Rock will take over. And I got to get that rebound. That was with Morgan Henderson. Last game, she had 19 points and was shooting 54.5% from the field. So if you see if she can keep that up against this California defense.
We saw that very first possession, Slippery Rock kind of pulling a page out of Edinburgh's book to playing California, and that's pack in on a 2-3 zone, and that's exactly what we saw.
Going to be tough for California as a turnover on Slippery Rock's first possession. Abby Sporio right underneath the hoop, and good. That's her second shot of the game, her first make.
That's the way to beat that 2-3 zone, is not even let them set up for it, get transition points. That's where California gets the majority of their points, and when they're getting those transition buckets, they're playing at their best.
Over to Mallory Heinley, then back over at the top of the key to Petropolo, who gives it over to Fordham. Fordham shot up and good. First made bucket for the Rock here today.
It's big for Slippery Rock as well. Those made buckets allows them to sit back in that 2-3 zone and not allow transition points. So now it's going to be another tough offensive possession like we saw that first possession for the Vulcans.
Working it around the outside, then over to Jeffries, who kicks it back out. Parsons has it now, cross-court pass. Almost lost possession of it there. Driving, and we're seeing a different Gianna Flood Francis as well as she drives to the hoop. We saw that last game against Clarion as she provided a little bit of spark on offense. Driving to the hoop, those strong drives allowed her to get those easy points.
We did see a change in her playing style, and that was like you mentioned there, driving to the bucket. That's exactly what we saw.
California forcing a travel on Slippery Rock there as Parsons kind of coming up a little bit slow on that.
Yeah, Parsons fell to the ground, able to hop back up. She's been dealing with some injuries as well. We mentioned if you watch any of our men's broadcast here at Caillou, their season's over, but they dealt with injuries all season. Now late in the season for the women, they themselves have found that injury bug.
Definitely playing a little bit of a zone here against California, our Slippery Rock. Jeffries now driving to the hoop, no good off the front of the rim. There to get the rebound was number 23, Brooke Hinderleiter. Pushing up the floor, looking to go coast to coast, trying to put up a shot. No foul called as DJ Hahn comes up with the basketball, trying to draw the jump ball, no call. And then finally, Slippery Rock gets it up and going to the line now. That's number 20, Leanne Gibson.
This is exactly the start that Slippery Rock wanted. We're able to see early that the officials are going to let things go. It could have easily been a foul, could have easily been a travel call as DJ Hahn, I believe, grabbed that ball and fell backwards onto the ground. But no travel called, no foul called. And the hustle in the offensive end gets the putback. This is a different Slippery Rock team that we've seen the past few times these two teams have played.
One of the more physical players out there on the floor is DJ Hahn, and just trying to put her body out there and get the rebound. Could not, though, as California gets the rebound after a missed free throw from Slippery Rock. DJ Hahn now setting it over to Abby Sporio on offense. Jeffries gives it over and right into the arms of Brooke Hinderleiter as she streaks down the floor working against Abby Sporio. Will be called on the foul, trying to plead her case, but referee still makes the call. First call on Sporio.
She does not like that call. As we mentioned, Valacorsa, she's now checking in for Jeffries. Jeffries commits that turnover and immediately gets taken out. That's just kind of the standard that Coach Drum wants out of with her team.
As Hinderleiter keeps it alive for Slippery Rock, trying to push it over as DJ Hahn gets the steal, kind of off of the rim even. Flood Francis now in transition for California. 7 minutes and 5 seconds left to go here in the first quarter of play. Working the ball still around that three-point arc.
It's looking like it's a box and one that Slippery Rock is playing as they're guarding Shatara Parsons with number 20 there in Leanne Gibson.
DJ Hahn no good on the three-pointer, and Shatara Parsons was tying her shoe on that one. Keeps it alive and puts it up. So that just shows the relentless spirit of Shatara Parsons still keeping this one in. As now Gibson now going to the hoop, trying to put up the shot, no good, and Parsons gets the rebound. Now in transition, California having numbers 2-on-1. DJ Hahn going to the hoop and one as he gets the bucket to fall.
Yeah, we're mentioning for Slippery Rock, just their defense, they're trying to mix it up, cause havoc really in the offensive end for California. But again, with transition points just like that, you don't have time to set up in that defense. That's what California's going to try to drive home all night long.
Madison Johnson, the redshirt sophomore, coming in for Sierra Fordham. Taking a little bit of a break, trying to keep their players out there on the floor healthy. Or the Slippery Rock as Hans, free throw up, no good. There to get the rebound, Morgan Henderson.
I believe it's probably the first time all season, I know it's the first time that I've seen a team run a box and one on Shatara Parsons.
And now Shatara Parsons going to the hoop, one-on-one, and she will be fouled hard on that.
They're going to call an intentional foul as well. So it'll be 2 shots and the ball for California. Shatara Parsons able to hop right back up, but they're going to call an intentional foul here on Leanne Gibson.
And the crowd not liking this one. And just going to the hoop, you know, Shatara Parsons having that presence. And that's the first time all season that we've seen a team do that. You know, she was clear you normally see like a reach-in foul in that situation, but they almost jumped on top of Parsons.
Yeah, usually in that situation they don't call it, they call it intentional when she's not going for the ball. Gibson was going for the ball, but it was a very hard foul. And I think just the physical nature of that play was what drew the intentional, but nonetheless, that's an intentional foul. 2 shots in the ball for California. Big event that happened right there, because we're seeing Slippery Rock come out with that physical play, and then they get called with a hefty intentional foul.
Yeah, a little too physical, if you will. As her first shot up and good. Parsons shooting 68.7% from the line this season.
That'll be 2 fouls on Gibson already. She was that player that was coming in and guarding Shatara Parsons. So this really throws a wrench in the game plan of Slippery Rock.
And making it count. And it looked like, you know, she was going right to the hoop, and kind of similar of just trying to put your hands up from Slippery Rock, but she jumped at Parsons, which really put a wrench, as you mentioned, in Slippery Rock's idea. Now, DJ Hahn puts up a shot, no good. Now in transition, Hinderleiter puts a shot up, no, actually it's good. I almost was gonna say it was no good, but bounces in, gets a friendly roll. California trying to answer, 10-7, 5 minutes and 50 seconds left before the first quarter comes to a close.
And without Gibson out on the floor, Slippery Rock moving back to a 2-3 zone. So that play early on with the intentional foul is a play that's going to come back to bite Slippery Rock.
And Shatara Parsons, strong body on offense, using her body to her advantage and just going right to the hoop.
And Slippery Rock realizing that it's do or die time, they're about to send Gibson back out on the floor with those 2 fouls. So nothing to lose here for Slippery Rock.
Foul called on Gina Valacorsa as Madison Johnson was trying to go to the hoop, and Gibson comes back onto the floor for Mallory Heinley. As Hinderleiter is going to be inbounding this ball over to Johnson. Now driving in, no help underneath the hoop. Getting over there a little bit late was DJ Hahn, and now a jump ball as Slippery Rock will come up with it. Tough matchup for DJ Hahn working against the 6'2" Morgan Henderson. Still calling that jump ball.
That it is, and I'd like to quickly update you on the other PSAC West quarterfinal. Seton Hill up by 8 on Gannon, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout this game.
It's now Henderson working against Valacorsa, gives it over to Hinderleiter.
And if you're watching us on the PSAC network, I believe you can multi-view it and watch both games at the same time. So if you're a big fan of basketball, you do just that.
Huge fan of basketball. You can double screen as Hinderleiter kind of playing a little bit of a street basketball on that one, throwing it off of Shatara Parsons before she goes out of bounds. That brings us to our first media timeout. And look, you mentioned how this Slippery Rock team is coming out with a vengeance against this California team. They know what they have to do. And Shatara Parsons, you can see on your screen, trying to prevent that, as she is a team leader in 4 of the 5 categories we have on your screen.
And Jasper, the leader in assist, isn't playing. So it's crazy what you see when teams are in desperate situations like Slippery Rock, where it's win or go home. They'll throw anything they can at California. And they, with the way they're playing right now, sending Gibson back in with 3 fouls, it shows the kind of how they feel towards Parsons, the respect that they have towards Shatara Parsons, realizing that even with their best defender with 2 fouls, they're going to have to keep her on the court just to guard Tara Parsons, because right now they're saying we have no one else that can. As we're looking at those team leaders now, Hinderleiter, you mentioned her there a couple of times. They're the sophomore leading this team in rebounding, assists, and steals. Patterson as well, who we have not seen so far tonight. And I think she is injured throughout the rest of the season, so that was a big loss for them. And I believe that they've started that losing streak that you mentioned, Danny, since she hasn't played. So that was a big loss for them. But now, I've mentioned a couple times, it's just crazy to me that Slippery Rock's sending Gibson back out on the floor. I expect to see on their next defensive possession a box and one again. Can Gibson play defense without fouling on Tara Parsons? That's going to be the key factor for Slippery Rock in the rest of this first half.
As California is shooting 5 of 9 here halfway into this first quarter, as Gibson, a wide open shot, as it looked like Abby Sporio and Gianna Flood-Francis kind of went away from her, not really keeping her in check. And on offense now, back to this double team. It was wide open for Gina Valacorsa. Valacorsa shot up, no good off the back of the rim. Now in transition, Johnson has it for the Rock. Gets her ball poked away from her by DJ Hahn. Good defense, nothing easy going to the basket.
The last possession was exactly what Slippery Rock wanted for California to shoot threes, not their strong point. One of the lowest three-point shooting percentages in the whole conference was California, just at 27%. So Slippery Rock, I think, is okay with California shooting a three most of their possessions.
Johnson subs out, and coming back in is Skyla O'Connor. Now Hinderleiter brings it at the top of the key. Henderson now driving in. Henderson getting away from DJ Hahn and Valacorsa as DJ Hahn comes up with the ball. Abby Sporio in transition, kicks it out to Valacorsa, and then will be called on the blocking foul is number 11, Krista Petropola.
Petropola came over there with only 2 players back on the bottom of this defense. You have to really force the issue in terms of coming over and help defense, and there she just got caught a little late and gets called with the block.
Fordham and Heinley come in. Henderson and Hinderleiter check out. It's now Abby Sporio giving it over to DJ Hahn. DJ Hahn shot up and one as she gets a huge momentum switch over towards California on a big three-pointer.
That she does, and that is frustrating there. If you're Slippery Rock, you mentioned giving up those threes there. Tried to get a hand in one of California's lone three-point shooters in DJ Hahn. Foul her, and she hits the three. That is not what Slippery Rock wanted.
And we saw one miss from DJ Hahn already earlier here tonight off of it, what it seems like it's just an air ball, blatant air ball on that. She sunk that, and no good on the free throw as Fordham comes down with the basketball. Going coast to coast, trying to push it over, and she will be called on the charge. DJ Hahn, a charge drawing machine, as she comes down there, plants her feet, having that awareness where she is out there on the floor and getting the basketball back for California.
Yeah, definitely a very great play there by DJ Hahn. She keeps level-headed much more than we saw in last year. She's definitely matured a lot just in one season.
Has to be feeling that one as well. She comes up, looks to be a little bit winded.
Seeing Gibson fully front Tara Parsons there, forcing the lob inside to her.
And California trying to force up another three. Hinderleiter coughing the ball up and then lays on it for a jump ball. And California will retain possession.
California's defense swarming like bees, and there in Abby Sporio and DJ Hahn. We've seen Sporio in past games, just her quickness. She's as quick as they come here, and we saw it just right there on the defensive end.
California on offense now, fresh shot clock, 3 minutes and 35 seconds left in this first quarter of play, up by 6. Flood-Francis working against this 2-3 zone still. Over to Hahn in the corner. Hahn, three-pointer up and good. Another three-pointer for DJ Hahn.
And that's what California needs to do here, hitting those threes. Slippery Rock, we're seeing the frustration on their bench. They want to give those up because California is only shooting 27%, but they're DJ Hahn now 2 for 2 in her last 2 three-pointers.
And now Tara Parsons working against Leanne Gibson at another turnover as California comes up with the basketball. Jonna Flood-Francis going to the hoop. Basket counts and one going to the line. Huge momentum switch that really changed with DJ Hahn getting that and one on the three-pointer.
Yeah, it definitely has. DJ Hahn playing with reckless abandon right now, getting that steal on the defensive end, turns into points on the offensive end. This California team is hitting on all cylinders right now, 20 points. We still have 3 minutes left in this first quarter.
And now we're going to look at the bracket as Slippery Rock was forced to really call that timeout. You can see here on your screen, California playing Slippery Rock at the bottom. I must also mention Edinboro, the foe that will really be playing against these teams that win. And then at the top, another PSAC West matchup, Seton Hill and Gannon. We'll be sure to keep you up with that one as they will be playing IUP in their next game. But also Kutztown, Bloomsburg, winner plays Westchester and Millersville and Mansfield, taking the winner of East Stroudsburg.
We mentioned Seton Hill up on Gannon. That's a game to look out for as well. I believe it's a 10-point game now on into the fourth quarter of that one. So games to look out for all over the PSAC right now, and I'm sure if you're watching us live on the PSAC network, you're keeping up to date with all those because it's crunch time now. Winner go home here for the rest of the way.
As now we're going to be seeing Gianna Flood-Francis taking some free throws from the line. 3 minutes left. Shot up and good, so cashing in on that three-point play. Working up the floor now with Brooke Hinderleiter for the Rock. Henderson kicks it out over to Hinderleiter. Hinderleiter wide open shot, no good. Bit of a brick on that one as Gibson cleans it up off the board.
Gibson averaging 6.5 points per game. Right now she's the MVP for Slippery Rock. She's giving all she has those 2 fouls, had that intentional foul, but she is tasked with the tough job of guarding Shatara Parsons. DJ
Hahn, a shot up from the corner, no good. Another air ball from DJ Hahn, really trying to range in. It's 2 makes for her as well as 2 misses, sitting at 50% from behind the line. Now with Gibson putting up the shot, and good. And no call on that one as well.
No call as well, and Slippery Rock needed that bucket. California looked to be having all that momentum, but a smart timeout call, and that is paying big for them now, getting the steal in the defensive end.
Abby Sporio not paying attention on that one as the ball went right into the arm of Slippery Rock defender. And 2 shots coming up for Slippery Rock now as a foul is called, I believe, on Shatara Parsons. That's her first here tonight.
That is her first, and you're seeing some heavy breathing there from Parsons. It's tough to get open on the offensive end when you have somebody in your face 24/7, just worried about you. So it's definitely going to be getting to her physicalness as this game continues.
And that was actually on the ground, so won't be seeing 2 shots as Slippery Rock attempting to get 2 points, get back into this matchup. Now Johnson fakes the shot, works in, finds some space, shot up and good. Those are those 2 points I just mentioned.
Right on that timeout, 6-0 run now for Slippery Rock and start to get their feet under them now. They can set back in this box and 1. See how that pays out for them now. Can California continue to shoot their way out of it? That's the key factor here.
Valacorsa shot up, no good on the outlet pass. It's now Hinderleiter working up the floor yet again for the Rock.
Win or lose here for Slippery Rock. I think Edinboro is going to be watching this film intently here, how to play against this California team on the defensive end.
Henderson going up and under Valacorsa, and she gets a shot to fall. Now they find themselves only down by 4 with under a minute left to go in the first quarter of play. Abby Sporio trying to drive in, gives it over, kicks it over to Hahn. Hahn, mid-range shot up, no good. Abby Sporio there with the rebound. Now with 43 seconds left to go.
Parsons now touching the ball there. That's the first time she's touched the ball in a couple possessions, as now she's going to get charged with a foul. So this is exactly what Slippery Rock has wanted now. Shatara Parsons, frustration foul there, picks up her 2nd foul and expect her to sit the bench now. And now if you're Slippery Rock, if she does come out, if Parsons here, I expect Gibson to hit the bench as well.
Hold a minute, that was actually called on Gina Valacorsa,
wow,
not Shatara Parsons, but BB George will be subbing in nonetheless as Hinderleiter sinks her first rather, and Valacorsa will be coming out rather than, actually no, they're going to switch it over. Parsons kind of mentioned that she wanted to come out. Subs out. Hinderleiter 2nd and good as well. So now Slippery Rock down by 2 with 36 seconds left.
And Gibson, I believe, will be, actually, no, she's going to stay on the floor. So I'm a bit surprised by that. I think you want to keep Gibson. Actually, Gibson now, they've changed it on the scorebook here that Gibson only has 1 foul. So my apologies on that, and that's even better if you're Slippery Rock.
Now back over to Flood Francis. About a 5-second difference between shot and game clock.
Now they're playing box and one on Gia Valcorsa, so you're seeing it definitely a chess match style game here from Slippery Rock.
Shot clock is off as Skylar O'Connor has it for the Rock. 10 seconds left to go now. Over to Johnson. Johnson trying to put up a shot, no good. Valcorsa coming up with the ball. BB George now in transition. 3 seconds left. Flood Francis goes to the basket, puts a shot up, no good. So the end of one, California leads 21-19. Stay tuned as we have some more California women's basketball right here on CUTV and live on the PSAC network.
Dylan, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Buchanan, West Virginia can watch our stuff up here.
They can follow us on Twitter, or they can like us on Facebook.
That's awesome. What about our sports? How can they watch that?
They could watch it live right on our YouTube channel.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Hello and welcome back into the Convocation Center here on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania as Vulcans lead by 2 here at the start of the second quarter. And Dylan, much different Slippery Rock team than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, definitely. They aren't playing conventional basketball right now. They are definitely taking some strategy with this in this game and playing a box and one on California's Parsons, and we're seeing now her still on the bench. She usually plays almost every minute of the game. She is worn out from the way they're playing her, front guarding her the entire time, and now what a steal there by Abby Sporio.
And Abby Sporio, just that steal machine as well. You can talk about DJ Houghton drawing those charges, but Abby Sporio getting the ball back for her offense as California has a chance to break up this 10-0 run that was built up from the Rock. Kicking it over to Abby Sporio now. Back over to Flood Francis. Flood Francis forced to kick it out over to Valcorsa. Valcorsa, 3 in the corner and sunk.
I think if you're Slippery Rock, you're okay with that shot because Valcorsa on the season shooting 20% from the three-point line. I think you're okay with that shot, but that finally ends that 10-0 run like you mentioned, Danny.
As Henderson working on Valcorsa on offense, and California coming up with the rebound. And, you know, sitting Shatera Parsons in the situation, conserving some of her energy, might prove out to be a good response to this Slippery Rock defense that they're throwing as California turns it over right to the right of us.
But the problem with that is California really doesn't have too many scores on the court right now. The only person I can think of really is Flood Francis and DJ Hahn, but DJ Hahn is so streaky in her scoring that it makes it really tough.
And Abby Sporio coming up with a steal after a tip, driving to the hoop. Another foul, similar to how we saw Shatera Parsons being fouled. Another one was called. This one will not be intentional. Actually, they're not even going to say that there was a foul. They're going to say that a clean block on that one.
Wow. Physical defense continues for Slippery Rock. They are, like we mentioned it, they're win or go home, and they're playing like it.
And Slippery Rock coming up with a steal off the inbound play. Hinderlater coming up the court, going right to the hoop, and a foul called on Gina Valcorsa, and that's Gina Valcorsa's 3rd foul. And if anything, that was right in front of us. I don't know if you saw that one down there, Dylan, but that looked like a clean block, if anything.
And it did look like a clean block, and you're seeing this bench for California. Only 3 available players in this game on the bench. So without Valcorsa now with 3 fouls, it actually looks like California's just going to leave her in with 3 fouls. So definitely an interesting move here by Coach Trump, keeping Valcorsa in with 3 fouls.
Kind of see if we can pick out just Emily Suckling, that other player that's available for California, as Hinderleiter sinks both. Scores now 24-21. If Jess Strom could find some magical potion to really heal all of her players on the bench, that's the only reason we can only see what can happen with this California team when it comes to the tournament. It's BB George, comes off of a little bit of a screen set. Working around that 3-point arc yet again. Over to BB with 10 seconds left on the play clock. Putting up the shot clock, excuse me, not the play clock. Coming up with a steal as Slippery Rock will actually get it right back. Bounce around after a few California players, DJ Hahn and Gianna Flood-Francis. In the corner, trying to get a pass over to Heinley, but California will come up with a basketball. Going to the hoop, and good for Gianna Flood-Francis.
Those transition points for California, that's where they need to get their buckets. They struggling on the half-court offense against this 2-3 zone, and when Parsons is out on the court, or actually when Gibson's out on the court for Slippery Rock, that's when they're in that box and one. So struggling in the half-court, need more transition points for California.
Hinderleiter gives it over to Henderson, and then Abby Sporio will be called on the foul.
And as a fan of basketball, Danny, I'm loving this. This is very cool to see the coach and Bobby McGraw throwing the kitchen sink, everything but the kitchen sink at California right now, forcing them to not be comfortable. That's what they're trying to do, trying to make California uncomfortable in the offensive end.
And this is not looking like a 12-15 Slippery Rock team, as Henderson tried to put up the shot, no good. Right along that baseline, BB George tries to keep it alive, and now a jump ball will be called as California takes over.
And now for Slippery Rock, they're struggling on the offensive end again. California's defense, we mentioned in the open there, only giving up around 58 points per game. So definitely strong on the defensive end, and we're seeing it here at Slippery Rock now, just like California in the half-court set, struggling to score the basketball.
You mentioned there's not a lot of scorers out there on the floor for California, but Gianna Flood-Francis and DJ Hahn both combined with 15 points, 7 and 8 respectively. So everybody really has to pull their own weight out there here today, as BB George puts a shot up and good. And that's BB George's first bucket of the night.
McGraw immediately after that play reaches and grabs Gibson to get her into the game. Need her defensive effort out there if you're Slippery Rock.
Heinley gives it over to Skyla O'Connor. O'Connor feeling the pressure as a double team is applied to her, as now Petropola in the corner over to Fordham. Fordham gets her pass broken up, and good defense there from DJ Hahn. In transition now, BB George has it after a pass from Gianna Flood-Francis. Slowed this down. Sporio pressured, gives it over to Flood-Francis, now driving in. Clearly tired out there, everybody, it seems like, Dylan. Hahn trying to put up a shot, and she will be fouled. Gets them a little bit of a break.
Yeah, we're seeing this team grow up right now. A lot of young players out there for California. The most experience out there on the court right now for the Vulcans, I believe, is Flood-Francis. With her being a junior, we haven't seen her too much over the past few seasons, but she's a transfer out of Salem, so she's really the lone veteran, you could say, on the court right now for the Vulcans.
Madison Johnson coming in, as well as Gibson and Hinderleiter. And this California team, they look tired because they're trying to break the defense set up by Slippery Rock. Then Slippery Rock's trying to apply that defense on California, so both teams clearly tired, and DJ Hahn trying to draw the foul after she took that free throw. Will not be called, but they will keep possession.
Great rebound, great offensive rebound there by Abby Sporio.
Sporio driving in, then kicks it right back out to Valcorsa. Kind of a give and go. Getting it right back over to DJ Hahn. Hahn shot up, no good off the front of the rim. Good rebound there from Flood-Francis. And now slowing this offense down yet again are the Vulcans and Jess Strom. Valcorsa cross-court pass over to Hahn. Hahn then drives in, and a little bit of a push on Gibson, I believe.
That's big as well. They brought her back in because they need her defensive effort, but you want to save her to guard Satara Parsons. She picks up her second foul, so now she's going to have to definitely be careful on the defensive end.
She will, as passing around the three-point arc. They don't have a lot of height out there, California, so they're trying to push it out that on the perimeter as DJ Hahn shot up from the corner, no good. Another air ball for her. That's 3 air balls, something that we don't really call much, you know, off the side of the rim for DJ Hahn. That's 3 air balls here for her today.
As Gibson now hits the bench here for Slippery Rock with those 2 fouls, and still no Shatara Parsons out there, definitely giving her a big rest. And these younger players for California have stepped up and went on a bit of a run without Parsons out there.
Slippery Rock, it's something that they have, a lot of height, and that California is really going to have to try to combat. Hinderleiter drives to the hoop, puts up the floater, and good over Valacorsa.
Valacorsa tried to take a charge there, unable to do so.
California up by 5, just about 5 minutes left to go before halftime. You're preserving Shatara Parsons to the second half. It might be something that plays out as well, as she's still sitting in the corner. Over to Valacorsa. Valacorsa spots up, puts a shot up, no good. Trying to keep this one alive, and Valacorsa comes up with the rebound as well, and then pushing it over to Fordham for Slippery Rock. Good job of them keeping this ball alive and getting back on offense.
The Slippery Rock fans applauding the hustle there of number 11, Krista Petropola, falling out of bounds, able to tip that ball back in. Or the crowd, the Slippery Rock crowd right behind us here, definitely letting out some cheers.
Johnson spinning and going to the hoop, getting the easy bucket to fall, as now they find themselves down by 3. 4 minutes and 25 seconds left before halftime.
And I wonder if Coach Strum here for the Vulcans thought that foul was on Shatara Parsons with 2 fouls. A big 3 hit there by Parsons, by Valacorsa, but I wonder if she thought that foul was on Parsons, as she's still sitting the bench here. I don't see any reason. She appears to be fine. I think California may need her out there on the court.
Like I said also, you know, a lot of foul trouble in that second half for California and Shatara Parsons, as Madison Johnson goes to the hoop, draws the foul, and gets the bucket to fall. And if you're Slippery Rock now, you got to be loving this.
And Coach Bobby McGraw, he is a character. I wonder if we've seen any video of him in this game, just his dancing. He's out there acting like a player out there on the court, dancing around. You can definitely tell his team's getting energy from him.
And a timeout called on the floor. I believe this will be the media timeout. And now we're going to look at these regional rankings. California's sitting at that 6th spot, and we really haven't seen much changes at all for the past few weeks.
No, we haven't. The real key game was against California and Seton Hill last week. California came away with the victory in that one. But for California sitting at 6 right now, you really need this win. I think if they win here, they've pretty much secured a spot in the regional tournament. But if a loss here could definitely leave for some worries out of this California fan base.
On your screen there, you can see Cheyenne White and Emma Rawlings, 2 people that we are very familiar with, having these signs, putting signs up that they made themselves. So I won't read any of them. You can take a look at them. But California shooting 12 of 28, 42.9%, and Slippery Rock shooting 11 of 20, it's 55%. And just explosive play here today for California.
Yeah, definitely. For California, I think the explosive plays have been from Slippery Rock. As a fan of California, a student at Cal U, I admire and respect what Coach McGraw is doing. As a basketball fan, he understands that he's outmatched by this California team, and he's throwing anything he can at California to try to get the win here. He's even worn out Shatara Parsons to the point where she's still on the bench with halfway through the second quarter. We have yet to see her. 3 minutes and 55 seconds left this first half. We've yet to see her in the second quarter. So definitely an interesting game, and not at all how I thought it would play out.
Madison Johnson shot from the free throw line, good, down by 3 yet again. And like I said, Dylan, you keep saying that she's tired. I think they're just trying to preserve her for this second half, keep her out of foul trouble, because they know that they're going to need her in this second half of play.
That they are, but with their box and one, I just don't know how she's going to find the ball, as it's going to be tough for California to get it to her, and without her out on the court, just not many scores for California.
Abby Sporio trying to go to the hoop, and a jump ball called. Slippery Rock will take over. This is a swarming defense. It looks like zone defense as well, kind of a 1-3-1 that's really set up, and then it kind of goes back and they run the box and run.
Yeah, right now they are running that 2-3 without Parsons on the court, but I immediately expect them to get back in that box and one when Parsons gets back on the floor.
A foul called right in front of the California bench with Gianna Flood-Francis.
California only shooting at around 42% right now. Slippery Rock at 55%. That's a really key statistic in this game.
As well as 4 of 10 from behind the three-point arc for California. So they're trying to put up threes. Really stretch this Slippery Rock defense out.
The 4 threes may be the most they've hit all season long if you're California.
Good step-back shot from Hinderleiter. Shrinks this lead down to 1 for California now. So they need to draw something up. We haven't seen Shatara Parsons move at all from the bench.
I'm telling you, I think Coach Drum thinks she has 2 fouls. I'm telling you that because it looked like that foul was on her. Should have been called on her, but they called it on Valley Corsa earlier on in this game.
Abby Sporio coughing the ball up as Slippery Rock will take over, and that's something that, you know, as a head coach, you really want to know, because if you don't have that, that could prove to be huge.
I'm actually not really sure, because now they have Shatara Parsons score with that foul. So I don't know. They still have Valley Corsa with 3 fouls and Parsons with 2. So they're just pulling fouls out of anywhere now, because they initially called that foul on Valley Corsa. She still has 3 fouls. Parsons has 2 fouls, so that might be something they need to take a look at the book come halftime.
And even that mystery foul was taken away from Gibson as Slippery Rock takes over. Now California down by 1 as that last possession for Slippery Rock resulted in a made shot. Fordham going to the hoop, trying to draw the foul, and that's a charge called on Fordham. Good draw there from BB George.
That foul is going to be on Fordham. That's her 2nd foul. And so now Slippery Rock having to get deep on their bench. Their bench is a little deeper than California's, as now we're seeing a new face out there in Emily Suckling. She can hit the 3-pointer, so wouldn't be surprised for her to chuck a couple up here, try to just get a spark somewhere on the offensive end.
And California had that lead for 15 minutes and 6 seconds. Now let's switch over just a little bit. Some more 3-point threats out there on the floor, as you mentioned, Dylan. Emily Suckling 3-pointer up, no good. Jameer Jeffries tries to come down with the rebound, and she keeps it alive. Tip off of Slippery Rock, but California keeps it. Suckling was really that 3-point threat last season in the PSAC tournament. Over to Flood Francis. Flood Francis kicks it over to DJ Hahn. Now with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. 3-pointer up yet again from Emily Suckling. This time it's knocked down.
And that was a deep 3, almost NBA range if there was an NBA line out there. And Emily Suckling, credit to our Gary Smith, that was from Australia right there from Emily Suckling.
A native of Australia, as another charge on defense drawn, this time by Jameer Jeffries, as she pops right back up.
What a game this is turning out to be. You're seeing everything in this game. California, tough defense, but also taking charges on the other end. Slippery Rock mixing it up, playing a 2-3 zone, a box and 1. What more could you ask for?
This has to be a basketball lover's dream, as you mentioned, Dylan. Kick it over to DJ Hahn. DJ Hahn shot up, no good, off the front of the rim, trying to draw another charge. Now getting back on defense. Slowing it down. Over to Heinley. Heinley shot up, no good, off the back of the rim, and this one is going to go almost out of bounds, but Slippery Rock will keep possession. Johnson then puts a shot, no good. Jameer Jeffries coming up with the basketball.
Now we're going to foul on the other end of the court here for Slippery Rock, and I believe that will send California to the line as well. Definitely not a smart foul there by Skyla O'Connor.
No question about that. Swing some momentum with 42.5 seconds left. California leading by 2. Both benches really getting into this one. The players more so for California, and the head coach for Slippery Rock, as Flood Francis misses her first. Flood Francis shooting 51.9% from the line this season. Second one up, no good as well. Getting the rebound, keeping this one alive is DJ Hahn. DJ Hahn, that rebound force for California, very physical player.
Big couple possessions there for California, taking 2 charges, getting that offensive rebound. They're starting to hustle now. Slippery Rock is now forcing California to pick up their intensity.
Suckling, pass over to Hahn. And right back over to BB George. BB George, drop step, no good. Coming down with the rebound for Slippery Rock. Now Slippery Rock has numbers 3-on-1. Emily Suckling, that lone defender. Giving it over, and Jameer Jeffries stepping right in the passing lane, gets the ball back for California.
She hustled back, and kind of a lazy pass there for Slippery Rock.
Now with just about 5 seconds left, Gianna Flood Francis shot up and good. And that's going to close out this half of play. California leads 36-32 in an action-packed game here from the Convocation Center in the first matchup of the quarterfinals. Stay tuned as we have an electric game here tonight, right here on CUTV and live on the PSAC network.
Dylan, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Buchanan, West Virginia can watch our stuff up here.
They can follow us on Twitter or they can like us on Facebook.
That's awesome. What about our sports? How can they watch that?
They could watch it live right on our YouTube channel.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yep. Seton Hill won. Seton Hill. 78-65.
Is that Coach Trump's baby?
Yep. .128. Hello and welcome back into the electric Convocation Center here on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania. As at the half, California leads 36-32. Welcome back into the broadcast. I am Danny Beck, and joined alongside me once again is Dylan Godet. And Dylan, what a game it's been so far.
What a game is right. Looking at these halftime stats here, pretty neck and neck when you look at it. California, 5 3-pointers in that first half. You would have told me California would hit 5 3-pointers in a half, I would have called you crazy because California has struggled from behind the three-point line so far this season, able to hit those three-pointers. Slippery Rock does have the advantage on the inside, though, in terms of rebounds, as well as just offensive rebounds as well. Steals, California has the edge, but the story of this first half has been with a drama surrounding fouls, nonetheless, as we were confused because the official scorebook kept changing. If it was 2 fouls or 3 fouls on Tara Parsons. Tara Parsons had 2, Valcorsa has 3. So a mystery foul came out of somewhere, but here's an updated look at the PSAC tournament bracket. Looks like Seton Hill has defeated Cannon, so they are moving on to play IUP. As well as Kutztown defeated Bloomsburg. So the higher seeds have prevailed so far. Can California prevail in this one? Remains to be seen. But I expect now with Fordham back out on the court, with Tara Parsons back out there as well, expect to see that box and one back, and we're back to this intense chess match that is unveiling out in the court.
And it really is a chess match, and see if California can get their rooks in line as we're waiting for motion coming back in now, and Shatara Parsons back out there on the floor as Flood Francis setting up their offense over to DJ Hahn, then gets it right back on the inside over to Jeffries, then kicks it over to Flood Francis. Flood Francis shot up, no good. Rebound there, Leanne Gibson.
And Gibson, key player on the court on this whole Slippery Rock team today, as she's been given the task of playing the box and one of Shatara Parsons. If I'm Slippery Rock here, I'm going to take the ball right at Shatara Parsons, force her to play defense without fouling.
And Abby Sporio coming up with a steal, trying to keep it alive, is Flood Francis, and she does. So Abby Sporio has to be racking up those steals because California is now they're up to 10 on the night. Getting over to Sporio. Now back over to Flood Francis. Flood Francis didn't spot up, but going right to the hoop. No good on the shot as Morgan Henderson comes down with the rebound. Now Hinderleiter has it for Slippery Rock. Driving to the hoop, putting up a shot over DJ Hahn. No good. Hahn coming up with the ball.
Hahn coming up with the ball. I believe she must have gotten some contact to the face there. Kind of holding her face, but now on this defensive end, if you're paying attention at home, look at Shatara Parsons back there near the basket on the low left block there. Guarded front, now front guarding her is Gibson. That's the matchup to look out for in the second half. I think that's what this game is going to come down to.
Sporio gets the ball, drives in, shot up, and good. Good way of getting away from her matchup and getting right to the hoop.
And that's what California's going to need, the role players to step up and score the basketball.
So now Henderleiter working against Shatara Parsons. Parsons turning up the pressure now. Johnson shot up, no good, getting the rebound right there. And that height in Shatara Parsons.
Yeah, that's what she's been able to do in this game, get those rebounds in her limited minutes. Only played 9 minutes in that first half. Right there was her third rebound for Parsons.
Hasn't seen a lot of time on the floor either, as Flood Francis elects not to shoot, working around that three-point arc yet again. Jeffries driving in, shot up, no good, and Henderson swats this one away, so California will keep possession.
And a lot of stagnant offense there from California, not a lot of moving. Parsons was staying on the low block, probably conserving her energy as well. As she's going to have to, get past Gibson.
Madison Johnson subbing out. Krista Petropola coming back in. This pressure working against Shatara Parsons. She's forced to push it back out and not drive. Jeffries has it now, gives it over to Flood Francis. Still working on that right side, that far side of the court on your screen. Sporio drives to the hoop yet again, puts up a floater, no good. Could not get the roll on that shot.
She's going to have to hit those for California because, again, Parsons, I think, is content with just letting it be 4-on-4 and let California just forget about her in the offensive end.
Abby Sporio got her hand on that ball as Flood Francis drives to the hoop. No good on the shot. Foul yet again as she looked like she was hit in the face. Hinderleiter just trying to break up that shot. Now they're going to be discussing foul this is, and another intentional foul called on Hinderleiter this time.
And a little late with that one, and I do not agree with that foul. Yes, it was a hard foul, but no, I do not believe it was intentional. And I think Shatara Parsons did a little talking there to sell it and get the intentional foul in favor of the Vulcans.
As Parsons going to the line, and I think the only reason why they call this, in my opinion, is because it's happened multiple times here before as Parsons sinks one from the line. Still, I don't think that requires an intentional foul in a situation going against Hinderleiter.
Now we're going to get some discussion from the officials.
What could they be discussing there, Dylan? I'm not sure.
I don't even know. Maybe. Maybe a technical, as Shatara Parsons mentioning there, maybe a technical since she is shooting these free throws and shouldn't be the shooter here. I'm kind of surprised they're letting her stand right there and listen to their whole conversation.
Yeah, very interesting. Normally they shoo them away a little bit. Now they're kind of treat this like a timeout as California meets over with Jess Strom. Constructive talk you have to think in this situation. As I believe talking with the coaches now.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
No clue. Wonder what they could be talking about.
Kind of the look on the man in stripes behind Coach Strom is us, all of us right now. Yes. Just kind of face, just kind of like with the what in the world was that look, as he is confused. We are confused. You're at home probably confused as well.
And it looks like now they're going to get back over there and shoot the basketball, play some basketball now.
Still a confused look on the man's face.
Very confused. So now another shot. Weren't listening.
They give a technical on the coach for Slippery Rock as well. So
very animated.
So 4 foul shots here, I believe. I don't agree with that. That's poor officiating in my mind. Frustration from the coach because you let Shatara Parsons talk to you into calling that intentional foul. Wasn't the initial call on the floor. The coach is frustrated, then you call an intentional foul on him. I think that is poor officiating right there, and definitely a big moment in this game, and really takes California at Slippery Rock. It really hurts their chances here, now down by 10.
As now California gets a basketball, still after that intentional foul. Now up by 10. So they're just extending their lead. Jeffries driving in, Puts up the shot and good. Just like that, a 6-point swing as Parsons hits 4 free throws, and then they convert on offense. A 6-point swing in California's favor. This is huge for the Vulcans right now.
Definitely huge for the Vulcans. Couldn't have had a bigger swing in momentum. Now all the momentum is in favor of California. We saw this, though, in the first half. Slippery Rock called a 30-second timeout. Now they're calling a full minute timeout, and then they went on a run. They went on a 10-0 run. Can they replicate that now? Because they're going to need it. 7 minutes left here in this third quarter.
Shatera Parsons is shooting 100% here tonight. 2 of 2 from the field and 6 of 6 from the free throw line, as she has 10 points, 3 rebounds, and assists, 2 steals, but 2 fouls as well, so they really have to link that out. As there it is, Etchedon, Millersville took down Mansfield, that 3 seed, taking down the 6 seed, as they'll be playing the 2 seed in East Stroudsburg next game. So California now, it's that last spot they really have to fight for and see if they can take on Edinburgh on Wednesday.
Yeah, the home seeds have won. Can California continue to do that? Looked like to be pretty good shape here. Up by 12 after that crazy turn of events as well. But nonetheless puts California up by 12.
It's huge. And talking about that swing in general, and you're saying that it's poor officiating. And, you know, the referees were kind of in the area of head coach for Slippery Rock this entire game, kind of just hearing what he was saying, hearing what he was drawing about, and then they finally give out the technical in favor of California. But just explain, why do you think it's poor officiating, Dylan?
I think it was questionable call on the intentional foul, because if you're a coach, you have to be frustrated if their call wasn't initially an intentional foul and then a player for California talks the official into calling it, and then with no discussion between other officials, and then they call you at the technical. I just don't think. I think that goes on the officials.
And now a turnover from Slippery Rock as Jeffries goes right to the hoop and gets the shot to fall. Now a 10-0 run here. Slippery Rock has not scored in the second half at all.
No, they haven't. Now California's in there 1-2-2 pressure and forcing all kinds of havoc on the defensive end.
Jump ball still in favor of Slippery Rock. California's just smothering now at this point, jumping out at 1 point. Actually, no, this is their largest lead of the game, 14 points. So this is big for California, huge momentum swing going in their favor.
Yeah, definitely a big momentum swing, and now Slippery Rock, not known for their scoring ability, but they're going to have to try to get points up on the board, but a big play there by Parsons.
As Madison Johnson could not convert on the offensive end for Slippery Rock. Pushing it into Jeffries, and Jeffries is now a pivotal part in this offense for California. DJ Hahn keeping it alive, shot up, no good. Coming now with the rebound is Leanne Gibson. Now Sierra Fordham working against Abby Sporio. Fordham kicks it over. Petropola shot up, no good. Brick in the corner. So now Flood Francis brings it back up the floor for California.
You saw that last defensive play there. Sporio, see how quick she is on the defensive end. They're trying to drive around her, but she's able to beat them and force them into a tough 3.
5 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the third quarter. Jeffries splits the defense, tries to put a shot up, no good. California retains possession off of Slippery Rock.
Ball tipped out of bounds there, and a defender on this side of the court, I believe that was Petropola out there. She was put in a tough spot between 2 players, but she was able to stop him.
Parsons shot up, gets the roll. Now California pushing up this pressure yet again.
That they are, and Shatera Parsons playing key here. Definitely the MVP for California.
Even with her not on the court, she still played a pivotal part as Leanne Gibson, tough move to the basket and good.
And that great matchup continues between the 2 of them. Gibson, again, not even a starter for California, being for Slippery Rock, but Shatera Parsons, she continues this play now. She has been key factor for the Vulcans.
Jeffries, up and under, puts a shot up, no good. I believe a travel was called. Referee right behind our box, right in front of us. Fordham gives it in over to Hinderreiter. Fordham coughed it up as Sporio comes up with it. Nobody around her, and Fordham just coughed up the basketball as now Flood Francis has it, slowing down this offense.
Yeah, not a good play there. Just gave up the ball, like you mentioned, just kind of gift-wrapped it there for Sporio.
DJ Hahn Over to Jeffries. Jeffries feeling the pressure, has to give it right back out. Now in the corner over to Flood Francis. Elects not to shoot, drives in, puts a shot up, and she will be fouled going to the basket.
And that's how you want to play against this box and one. Force the ball quickly around the outside. When you catch it in a corner, pump fake and drive. That's exactly what we saw there from Flood Francis. Now she's getting a trip to the free throw line because with nobody in the middle, these wing players and these corner players for Slippery Rock will have to travel from really half the court to play their zone. And that makes for tired faces, and then you can quickly beat them around the edge, and that's what we're seeing from California. And you can check out our YouTube page at CUTV Sports, at CUTV Sports 1. We post all of our links on there as well, and this game is live on there as well as the PSAC Network. So if you're watching us via YouTube or the PSAC Network, thank you for watching, and you can check out our YouTube page after the conclusion of this game and see some of our old clips on there.
Really see what happened in this game, the storyline of this contest, because quite a crazy turn as California led at halftime 36-32, and now here they've only scored 2 points in this third quarter, which is about half of it gone with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, 4 minutes and 29 to be exact, and a 12-2 run in favor of California. And that's really similar to the last game that Slippery Rock played at Gannon, because of the fact that they were outscored in that second half of action 30-20 or 34-20 in the second half. And so the Slippery Rock, this isn't out of the normal for them. It seems like they allow teams to get back up and gain some confidence, and that's when the teams turn it on, and that's how they lost against Gannon.
And not only that, I believe they only scored 4 points in the entire third quarter of that game as well. So third quarter appears to be the Achilles heel of the Slippery Rock team.
Without a doubt it is, as Flood Francis will be attempting 2 from the line. Parsons now with 12 points. Still shooting 100%. As Flood Francis sinks her first. Reading her second now. Once again, she's a 51.9% free throw shooter. No good on the second. As Leanne Gibson tries to keep it alive for Slippery Rock. And then a jump ball is called. California will get the basketball back.
What a hustle there from Sporio, as that's really what she's known for, hustling around and getting those balls, getting steals, whether it be steals, rebounds. That's just the way Sporio plays. Her tank's at 100% all the time. Her foot's on pedal to the metal as well.
DJ Hahn, no good, long on that one. Another air ball though, as Hinderleiter brings it up the floor for Slippery Rock. Hinderleiter with 10 points. 2 players out there for Slippery Rock with 10 points. Her as well as Leanne Gibson. Gibson driving in, puts a shot up. No good, as she will be called on the charge as well.
California, I believe that's 5 charges they've taken just in this game.
As well, just like that. That's Gibson's 3rd foul. DJ Hahn inbounds the ball. Looking to sub in is number 14, Mallory Heinley. Jeffries gives it over to Sporio. Great pass, and getting the roll to count, Zabby Sporio.
Sporio with a nice bucket there. Again, they're starting to figure out this box and one.
So now Morgan Henderson spots up. Mid-range shot and knocked it down.
Much needed points there for Slippery Rock, an easy bucket as well.
Bring up the 4 yet again is Gianna Flood Francis. Abby Sporio cross-court pass. In the corner now to Parsons. Parsons trying to break this defense, and a foul called. I believe that's going to be on Skyla O'Connor. It will be on O'Connor, so it was in the act of shooting as Parsons approaches the free throw line.
You mentioned her there as she will head back to the free throw line, yet to miss a shot still in this game.
Shot up and good. Her 7th made free throw. 7 attempts, 7 knocked down from the charity stripe here today. Reading her second now. Second up, no good. So both of us might have jinxed it as ball goes out of bounds, but still in favor of California. Gianna Flood Francis will inbound this basketball. Shatara Parsons now driving in. No good, as poked right out of her hand. Now Parsons gets it right back, puts a shot up, no foul called. And Heinley will come up with the basketball for the Slippery Rock. And Abby Sporio keeps it alive. Parsons now post move, shot up, and good. Just that presence in the post from Shatara Parsons is deadly.
That it is. She's so tough to defend. There's just nothing you could have done there to defend that. She just got right to the bucket.
15 points here tonight with 2 fouls still. Hinderleiter and number 11, Krisha Petropola, collide. Hinderleiter working against DJ Hahn, trying to pass it in over to Heinley, and Heinley gets the basket right underneath the hoop.
Risky pass there across the middle of the paint. Found its way on the inside there to Henley, and she was able to put it up and in.
Jeffries now trying to emulate the success of Parsons. Kicks it right back out. Shot up from Gianna Flood-Francis, no good. The rebound could not go down for Jameer Jeffries, and then I believe, I don't think a foul was called. That will be on Sporio.
Is it? They
hasn't made a call for it. It might just been out of bounds.
California yet to commit a foul here in this third quarter as well.
So no foul called on the floor. 5 fouls for Slippery Rock in this quarter. Shot up off of the glass for Madison Johnson. Johnson with 9 points here tonight as well. DJ Hahn gives it over to Sporio with 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go now in the third quarter of play. Parsons keeping this basketball alive. And pass in to Flood-Francis. Jeffries kicking it out. 8 seconds left on the shot clock now. Sporio drives to the hoop and gets the bucket to fall. Great move of getting right to the lane.
Yeah, Sporio so tough to defend when she gets going right to the basket.
Now Sierra Fordham working against Jameer Jeffries. Fordham kicks it over to Hinderleiter. Hinderleiter keeps it alive as good defense there from Flood-Francis, and then Hinderleiter makes Flood-Francis pay with a shot right in her face. 1 minute and 5 seconds left to go now before fourth quarter ends. California outscoring Slippery Rock right now 20-10 in this second half. Shooting 42% from the field are the Vulcans. And another shot made on offense for California.
Nice move again. California figuring out that they don't need to be taking these outside shots and go to the paint, and it's paying out big for them.
About an 18-second difference between shot and game clock now as Johnson drives to the hoop. Shot up and good on the floater. Gives her 11 points here today. Shot clock is off. Flood-Francis looks like she's just going to dribble this ball out. And Jess Stroms, traditionally, she likes to wait till 10 seconds and then push the ball up the floor. And it looks like she will as Flood-Francis looks up. Less than 10 now. It's about 5 seconds. Gets the screen. Flood-Francis drives in, step back, shot up. No good. Sporio coming down with the rebound. At the buzzer, Sporio sinks it. So just like that, California leads 60-44. Stay tuned as we have some more Vulcans women's basketball right here on CUTV and live on the PSAC network.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Hello everyone. Welcome back into the Convocation Center. At the end of 3, California leads 60-44. Welcome back into the broadcast. I am Danny Beck, and joining alongside me today is Dylan Goday. And Dylan, an electric second half for California as they outscored Slippery Rock 24-12.
Yeah, definitely. That's where California took control of this ball game. Been in this third quarter. Now Slippery Rock going to need a miracle to get back here in this one.
They definitely will, as inbound right in front of us. Over to Hinderleiter, off of, I believe, Abby Sporio's hand. So Hinderleiter will look to get the inbound play yet again.
We've mentioned Satara Parsons, but also Abby Sporia stepped up here in a big way in the second half, getting those steals. Now 10 points and 4 steals in this matchup.
Fordham streaking right to the hoop and getting the easy bucket to fall. Flood Francis with it for California. Sporio forced to give it back to Flood Francis and kicks it right back out. Playing a little bit of hot potato here out on the floor now is California. 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and a blocking foul called. I believe that's going to be on Leanne Gibson, and that is her 4th foul here tonight with 10 points. It's one of those pivotal players out there for Slippery Rock.
And that's huge as well. She's going to have to sit the bench now, so I expect Slippery Rock to go back into a 2-3 zone, leave that box in 1. And that's going to let Satara Parsons go to work here.
Mallory Heinley comes in. That 6'2" guard has some pressure as Flood Francis. I mean, you mentioned Abby Sporio stepping up. Flood Francis, these past 2 games, has stepped up immensely, driving to the basket and showing what a physical player she is.
Yes, she is. And transfer out of Salem, stepping up big way. And now she has 12 points. As you can see kind of the tape there on her right hand. She suffered that injury earlier on the season, so finally starting to get healthy again from that. Anything on your shooting hand in terms of injury-wise definitely affects your playing style, but she battled through it, and you could definitely tell now with 13 points here in this game.
Definitely a force, and this has a little bit of struggle from the free throw line, but she hits that one. As O'Connor putting that pressure from Jameer Jeffries. Over to Fordham. Fordham floater up, no good. Morgan Henderson coming down with the basketball, and a jump ball is called, so California will take back over. DJ Hahn gives it in to Flood Francis. 8 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in this contest. California still up 63-46, their largest lead here tonight. Satara Parsons keeping it alive, and then Hinderleiter picks it off. Now in transition. 2-on-3. Hinderleiter, great move to the hoop and gets the floater to fall.
Nice move there. But they're going to have to be more aggressive on the offensive end. Get some steals, turn in the points because they're running out of time here.
Now with Sporio setting her feet, then kicking it back out. Another turnover. Actually a foul called on number 12, Jameer Jeffries. That's her 2nd foul. It's the team's 1st foul here in the 4th quarter.
Not what California needed there, but it's another chance for Slippery Rock, but expect this defense to turn it up a notch. Look out for Abby Sporio, and Satara Parsons makes some big defensive plays here.
Now Fordham driving to the hoop, no good. Blocking foul called on Jameer Jeffries, so just like that, 2 quick fouls called on Jeffries. And that's California's 2nd foul. I was just going to mention that was their 1st foul in the second half, but just like that, 2 quick fouls, both coming with 8 minutes and 9 seconds left here in the second half of play.
Yeah, being able to play tough defense without fouling, that really gave them this big lead.
First shot up and sunk for Sierra Fordham. Second shot up and good as well. So just like that, California leads by 13. Flood Francis brings it across that logo at half court. That smothering defense can't allow them to get that pass over to Parsons. Forced to push it around this perimeter. It's now Sporio in the corner. Under 10 seconds left on the shot clock now. Flood Francis puts a shot up, no good. Henderson And Flood Francis as well as Jameer Jeffries comes down with a basketball, so they're going to call it jump ball. California. Actually, the arrow switched. And at first they signaled it's going to be California's possession, but the arrow switched, so now Slippery Rock will have possession.
Yeah, not the best of days for the official scorers here in this one. Messed up with fouls, and now with the possession arrow.
Hinderleiter has it. Tries to give it in, and a foul called on Jameer Jeffries yet again.
3 quick fouls in a matter of a minute or so for Jeffries.
That's 4 fouls now. Skylar O'Connor gets the inbound play over to Fordham.
And just like that, the mystical basketball balancing out of official calls it seems to be going in the favor now of Slippery Rock.
Hinderleiter tries to throw it into the 3rd row of bleachers across the court.
Isn't that crazy though, Danny, how that always ends up how it ends up being at the end of games, where suddenly that 3rd quarter didn't seem like California could do anything but foul, and now Jameer Jeffries, Slippery Rock couldn't do anything but foul, and California didn't foul. Now Jameer Jeffries, 4 fouls in a matter of seconds, or 5 fouls now in a matter of just a few minutes. Definitely crazy how that works out almost every time.
Yeah, and she's out of this contest. But, you know, maybe she took a little bit of the heat. As Skylar O'Connor in the corner working against Valacorsa. Sets her feet, tries to give it in to Morgan Henderson. Great pass right over the head of a mismatch yet again on offense for Slippery Rock. That time cashed in with Morgan Henderson registering her 6th point. And she was one of those players that I was kind of circling, one of the matchups that Slippery Rock could have taken advantage of. California, a much smaller team than Slippery Rock, as she had 19 points last game against Gannon. And we're going to see Valacorsa with it, trying to split that double team, then gives it over to Sporio. Over to Flood Francis. Flood Francis mid-range shot knocked down. California scoring their first points in quite some time, since 9 minutes and 19 seconds in this 4th quarter. Now pass right into the arms of Abby Sporio. Sierra Fordham kind of telegraphed that one. Abby Sporio kind of sniffed that one out right away.
Sporio now with 5 steals. Continues her fantastic defensive effort.
5 steals and 10 points. Now cross court over to DJ Hahn. DJ Hahn shot up and down. Just like that. That is DJ Hahn's 3rd made 3-pointer. She is 3 of 9, 33%. But 4 of 13, a dismal 4 of 13 from the field. Cashing in where it counts, though.
Definitely cashing in where it counts. That was a huge one. And that pretty much puts Slippery Rock out of range now.
And O'Connor, just like that, getting it right back. Maybe they're not out of range, Dylan.
Definitely. It's going to be an uphill battle. They've kind of struggled from the floor. For California now, it's just a matter of taking smart possessions on the offensive end.
And that was actually a 2-pointer. I thought that was going to be an answer right back to DJ Hahn's shot, but it will not be, as that is O'Connor's first bucket of the night. She has 4 fouls as well. And DJ Hahn, another shot from the corner, no good. Trying to get it back for California is Shatara Parsons. And that will be a jump ball. California will retain possession.
Shatara Parsons hustling now, and we're seeing Gibson check back in here for Slippery Rock. Again, it's going to be their last chance. This is all they have here for Gibson. 4 fouls out there guarding Parsons. That's going to be a matchup to watch out for now.
Flood Francis gives it in over to DJ Hahn. Flood Francis gives it back to Hahn. So working around that 3-point arc. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to go now as Flood Francis tries to put the shot up. No good, but she will be fouled. And that's going to be called on number 11, Krista Petropola. And that is her 2nd foul here. And that will bring us to our immediate timeout. And Dylan, what a second half it has been, as California has outscored Slippery Rock 32-22. And, you know, this is one of those games that California needed. And right here you can see on your screen Cal Volkins as well as Matt Kiefer and his staff. Just a great job setting up the game notes. I don't look over these game notes before the game, kind of see everything spread out in front of us and really talk about how this California team has beaten Slippery Rock every game they have played in since 2001 and 2002 season.
Yeah, definitely all the credit to him for that. Always has great statistics. If we're even wondering or a thought of a certain statistic pops in our head, we look on the game notes and Kiefer has it in there. So shout out to him and his entire staff for always keeping us prepared as well as you fans at home. And there's our Twitter page at CTV_PA. Give us a follow on there. As you know, our own Colin Kirkwood is watching us back sick at home. But credit to him for our great Twitter presence.
Sent us a Snapchat of a little bit of a meme kind of came up with at halftime. So shout out to Colin Kirkwood for keeping up with us at home. As now we're going to be seeing Gianna Flood-Francis at the line to attempt 2. First shot up and good. Getting the friendly roll. Ready's her second now. Second shot up and good as well. So righting her wrongs at the free throw line is Gianna Flood-Francis today. She's feeling herself. She just passed Shatara Parsons in points here tonight. And if you would have told me that before this game, I would have called you crazy, Dylan.
Yeah, definitely stepped up in a big way as Flood-Francis.
Madison Johnson, no good on the great move, but Morgan Henderson cleans it up as Slippery Rock now finds themselves down by 14. 4 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in this contest now. Working on offense, still around that perimeter. Something that California quickly got used to as Hinderlater comes up with the basketball and off of Abby Sporio, heads up play by Hinderlater to have that awareness out there on the floor and just knock it right off of Abby Sporio.
You just see the exhaustion on her face there as she's giving it all she has. This is do or die for Slippery Rock, and they're playing like it.
Now pushing it over to Leanne Gibson. Gibson then gives it to Petropola. Petropola tries to find Morgan Henderson. Backing down Parsons. This is that matchup that I was really looking at here tonight as Parsons will be called on the foul. Henderson's shot is good, and she goes to the line to attempt 1. Just like that, they can shrink this lead to 11. Does Henderson hit her 11th point here from the line? It's 4 players for Slippery Rock in double digits, and she does extend her point total to 11.
Big possession here for California. Have to get something. If I'm California, I'm going to try to get the ball to Parsons, get Gibson to pick up that fifth foul, and then they're really in trouble as California.
Valacorsa kicks it over to Abby Sporio. Sporio cross-court pass.
Excuse me, not California. It's Slippery Rock if that does happen.
Sporio kicks it over to Valacorsa. Valacorsa shot up and good. Great pass, finding the open player out there on the floor.
Big 3 there by Valacorsa. And California continues to hit those big threes. Now in this game, California has hit 7 threes, and that's pretty incredible there, Danny. They have struggled from the three-point, the most from the three-point line all season long. Has to be there with 7 because that's just not what this team's known for. And Slippery Rock's begged them to do it, and they've answered the call.
Hinderlater forced to come out as they've had a little bit of blood on her elbow. Keeping this one alive, and then not keeping this one alive are the Rock as pass off of Mallory Heinley's hand. Hinderlater coming back onto the floor as Sierra Fordham subs out. Flood-Francis definitely slowing this one down. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left to go. California up 73-59. What a change of events we have seen this entire night, Dylan, and going back and forth as Parsons puts a shot up, no good. And just continue what I was saying, you know, they were up by 1 at one point, and that's something that we really couldn't say this entire game because of the fact, or this entire season, because of the fact that California really stretches their lead out quick. And here tonight, Slippery Rock and that ferocious defense really slowing down California in that first half.
Yeah, but here in the second half, California just exploded in terms of points. Sarah Parsons played fantastic. Flood-Francis played the best basketball that we've seen her play as well. 17 points here in this game.
Gibson getting the ball back for Slippery Rock. Johnson working against Hahn. Johnson drives in, shot up, no good off the side of the rim. And then Henderson coming up with the basketball. They're gonna actually call a jump ball. Slippery Rock still has it with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left to go. Now Hinderleiter against Parsons. And Sporio smacking the ball away into the stands.
He's just so quick. Sporio, whether on her feet or her hands, to bat balls away.
Now in, tipped away, but Morgan Henderson secures it. Shot up and good. And a timeout called by head coach for Slippery Rock. Quite a few players, new players coming in. That's number 10, Kaylee Young, as well as Ajune Givner.
They may be coming in to foul here, possibly. We've seen a bit of everything from Coach McBrawl. Wouldn't be surprised if they start fouling.
And Dylan, now we're gonna look at the camera. One thing that we've been doing this entire season, just kind of give a look to the face, or a look to the voice, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we haven't really had our third camera out here all season long, so do one shot to really get the perspective of us down here. But fantastic game here today. Slippery Rock giving California all that they have, and California's answered everything that they've thrown at them.
They really have, and taking advantage on offense of what they're throwing at them, and on defense, just trying to split the defense from Slippery Rock, and something that California really hasn't had to do. It seems like anything they wanted to do against most teams this season, rather than the 5 teams that they've lost to, really has gone in their favor.
If there's a foul quickly here, I expect this to be a long final 2.5 minutes if they continue to foul here.
As Parsons splits the defense, now pushes up the floor. That's not the player that they wanted to foul for California.
They're trying to foul, and they ended up getting on Gibson as the number 10 there for Slippery Rock, and Kaylee Young was running all over the court trying to foul Sarah Parsons, trying to foul Flood Francis, but there they get Gibson on the foul, and I think that's who they did not want to pick up her 5th foul there in Gibson.
Definitely wanted to keep her out there on the floor. It looked like Kaylee Young was going after Flood Francis, a little bit slow to get over there. She subs out, and I believe Petra Pola will come in. Flood Francis with 17 points here today. Make that 18. Now, Dylan, you can almost write in our passports for Edinburgh on Wednesday. Get out, probably gonna leave California around 2 o'clock, get up there for the 7 o'clock tip, most likely. And does not extend her point total. Remains stagnant at 18. Hinderleiter driving in, working against Sporio. And a foul called on Abby Sporio. That veteran, you know, with Shatara Parsons looking at Abby Sporio and saying, don't foul right now. Hinderleiter goes to the line to attempt 2. She is 85.3% from the line thus far this season. As her first is up and good. So now she is 5 of 5 from the free throw line here today. 15 points, only 1 foul. One of those players that kind of stayed out of foul trouble, stayed away from fouls for Slippery Rock.
Exactly right, and helped their team out in many ways. She still has a couple years left, only a sophomore. Should be a promising player for them for a couple years to come.
13.9 points per game. That's a force, as it looked like they were trying to foul Parsons, cannot, and eventually a foul is called on Mallory Heinley. Not sure why, because I don't even think she touched Shatara Parsons, but I guess the referees knew what they were trying to do anyways. It was
Slippery Rock tried their hardest to keep the ball away from Parsons, double-teamed her the whole way down the court, and she still got the ball in her hands.
And she hits her first. 17 now is her point total. And her second as well, so ties her fellow teammate with Gianna Flood-Francis at 18 points. There's that threat. We were talking about Mia Kushan being out. She was one of those players that would score in bunches for California. Now Gianna Flood-Francis stepping in right into her role and making her presence known as Hinderleiter puts a shot up. No good, all ball. And Slippery Rock retains possession with 21 seconds left on the shot clock, 1 minute and 39 on the game clock. Now in the corner, Hinderleiter shot up and good. See where her foot where it was, and they're only going to call that a 2, as now they find themselves down by 12. And Dylan, in this position, you got to think that Slippery Rock is going to continue to foul, but just who would you foul in this situation? It seems like everybody for California here tonight is pretty sound from the free throw line. We have Shatara Parsons, 10 of 12. Flood-Francis, 6 of 10. The only person that I can see them fouling out there on the floor would be DJ Hahn, as 0 of 4 from the line. I
think as we take a look at our Facebook page there, I think Coach McGraw is going to say, anything you do, do not let Shatara Parsons touch the basketball. I'd be okay with Flood-Francis shooting free throws if I'm Coach McGraw. But anyone but Shatara Parsons, I think they're going to try to double team her. Like we saw last possession. But again, she's able to fight through the double team and get the ball anyway. So she's going to put probably their best 2 defenders on her, and whoever else is left on the court, that's who they're going to foul.
Just try to cough the ball up, or try to make California cough the ball up, or the Rock. But kind of interesting tonight. We only have 1 game. It's kind of out of the normal for us. You know, we normally are setting up for our second game, and this is normally when time the men's game starts, but California's men's are done for the season. We're going to follow the success of the Vulcans up to Edinburgh on Wednesday for that matchup. Game that we haven't been away from Edinburgh for that long, so that happened not too long ago. It's now Flood-Francis. Looks to pass it in over to Valacorsa. Valacorsa working up the floor, and she will be fouled by the new sub-in, Kaylee Young, yet again. Seems like they brought Kaylee Young as well as giving her into foul. It looks like that's what they really were bringing her in, as Hinderleiter and Madison Johnson are looking to sub in right after these free throws. With young players, both freshmen as well. It's kind of just role players at this point.
Yeah, their sole purpose of being on the court right there was to foul, and that's what we've seen their couple possessions, just offense, defense, subs here from Slippery Rock.
Valacorsa attempting her second. California's lead still at 12. And sunk on her second, 78-65. And all players out there on the floor now, Dylan, are in double digits, as Valacorsa just got her 10th point of the night. And Shatara Parsons not going to be fouled. She's going to slow this one down, and then she will be fouled by Krista Petropola. So going back to the line, really just want to set up camp there, Shatara Parsons. That'd be fine, as she's been at the line 12 times. Make that her 14th shot after these 2 are attempted. First one sunk. Brings her point total up to 19. Both teams are in the bonus now, as they both have registered 5 fouls.
And 19 points for her. It's really unbelievable. She's just battled here today. We mentioned only 6 points at halftime, and now picking up her 20th point. Just fantastic stuff, and one of the best players in the PSAC, and let alone one of the best players in the entire country.
Hinderleiter shot up, good from the elbow over the head of Abby Sporio, and then another foul called. They're down by 13. Why keep fouling?
I mean, anything's possible. Duke, North Carolina, a couple years ago, a minute and 1 second left. Duke was down 11 points, came back and won. So anything's possible. I think this is really, if California makes both of these and Slippery Rock struggles to get something on the other end, I think you're done fouling after this. But still a slim, very slim chance.
Parsons hitting her first from the line. 81-67 now. and missed her second from the line, though, so sits at 13 of 16. Over to Johnson. Johnson working against Sporio. Right into the arms of Valacorsa. Under a minute now left.
And now they're going to call off the dogs and just let California dribble this out.
Just like that, Dylan. You looking into a crystal ball. Called it up. I know you're talking about you're a basketball fan because of the box and run that we were setting earlier, so it proves to be true. As now Flood Francis puts a shot up, no good. Hinderleiter trying to keep it alive, and it will be Slippery Rock basketball. Just like Valacorsa's foot was out of bounds. Shot clock is off, though, so one more trip up the floor for Slippery Rock, likely. Henderson shot up, and good. Big three-pointer hit for her, as Henderson registers her 16th point, excuse me. Pushing it up now. Parsons in the corner. 10 seconds left to go now as California at home stays undefeated for this entire season. 81-70 is your final as California gets the victory in the first round of the PSAC tournament.
Big win there for California, traveling up to Edinburgh. Can they right their wrongs that they've had, the struggles they have had at Edinburgh? We'll find out on Wednesday. We know that Slippery Rock kind of took a page from Edinburgh's book with this defensive pressure against them. Expect to see that again on Wednesday. Can California play through it like they did today? Can Jeffries, can Abby Sporio, can DJ Hahn, can the Valacorsas on this team step up big on Wednesday? It's going to be stories heading into that game.
And you just saw those 8 teams on your screen still in the PSAC tournament. So stay tuned as we have some more basketball on Wednesday from Edinburgh. Both the radio calls and the TV calls brought to you by WCAL and CUTV. But for Dylan Goday, I was Danny Beck. Thank you for watching Vulcan's Women's Basketball right here on CUTV and live on the PSAC Network.